My name's Ju. I'm a second year Master of Health Science student in infectious disease epidemiology. I came from Australia, if you can tell by my accent, and my research is in HIV prevention work among marginalized populations.
My name is Greer Waldrop, and I'm from Paducah, Kentucky originally, and I'm in the Department of Epidemiology receiving a Master's of Science in Epidemiology in May 2013. I'm in the General Epidemiology and Methodology concentration, and my research is also in HIV, but it's more observational studies.
I chose Hopkins because it's a top public health school, and I actually visited the campus in February, just when I was visiting a friend in DC, and I remember walking in and thinking that it had a really great energy. I met some faculty, some students.
So similarly, I applied to the School of Public Health when I was working in India, and so I already had known the reputation of Hopkins in the United States, but then internationally it also had such a great reputation, and everyone I spoke with was so thrilled that I was accepted and was so, congratulatory, but also kind of in awe, like, oh, what an opportunity, you have to take it. And so I came here, and I'm very happy with my decision. I think what I was most surprised with was how approachable all of the faculty are. And I mean, the Department of Epidemiology has many leaders in the field in lots of different areas, and all of them are, an email or a knock on the door away from speaking to us as master's students, as PhD students, as MPH students. And I really expected there to be more of a hierarchy and more of a protocol to approach people that are at such high positions in their field, but I haven't found that to be the experience here.
Yeah, even when I was in West Africa, we had teleconferences and video conferences every week. It was really, we were in touch the whole time. Yeah.
It's a very collaborative place. People are really open to talking with you about research that you're doing with someone else, and if you're interested, say your advisor's not into something that you're interested in, they'll put you in touch with someone else who they know who's interested in that, and it's not a competitive place. It seems to be a really conducive for getting great work done because people are open and they want you to learn. They really do. It's the core. So
I didn't realize how international the student body was when I first visited, but as I sit in my classrooms and think about all my friends, like they're from all over the world, and it's really unbelievable what goes on in this building. Like the number of seminars, journal clubs, and the quality of teaching as well. Again, it's really great. Our advisors are fantastic, and as you said before, that they're really willing to collaborate with you on projects, and they really listen to what your research focus is. So I know my research project changed about 4 times in the past 6 months, but they really want you to get the most out of the experience.
Like you mentioned before, the student body is such a diverse group of people, and they have not just diverse in terms of being international or being from the United States, but diverse in that some people are mid-career, some people are coming from undergrad, some people have 3 years work experience, some people have 10, it's across the board. There's so many different people. And I think in addition to the mentorship of our faculty and of our advisors, which I can't speak highly enough about, but the students really do serve as a great resource.
We've definitely.
Yeah, we have a great cohort of people, and we talk to each other about, not just about, oh my God, this class is so difficult, how am I going to get through it? But also like, oh, I'm so stressed out because I'm trying to balance school, and I'm trying to balance kids, and I'm trying to balance this, and is it too bad if I don't take this opportunity, but I take this one? I think,
I just like giving advice to each other and supporting each other, studying together.
Yeah, it's a great, I think the students, although it's not a formal mentorship process, but I feel like we really are a cohort that's going through it together. I don't feel isolated in that way at all. So this summer we both worked internationally, and that was collecting fieldwork for data that I was collecting data for the database that I'm going to analyze for my thesis, and I was working in Mysore, India.
And I was in Cameroon, West Africa, setting up a HIV prevention treatment study for men who have sex with men in Cameroon.
Yeah. And even last term, or third and fourth term, I was in a qualitative research course that was working in obesity study intervention in the corner stores in Baltimore City. So that was the part where I was doing qualitative research and in Baltimore. So I think there's a lot of fieldwork opportunities here. Now, how that translates to my career, I mean, we're going to be researchers, so it's going to be a little stepping stone on the way to becoming great researchers. I think it really depends on what year you are in terms of what your typical week happens. So I think first year, it's very structured. You know, there your core curriculum that you really need to take, and that means there's a lot of classwork and a lot of class time. Yeah. So I guess, like, for a first year student, you have pretty much every morning, probably on average, I would say like 8 to noon every day, or at least 3 or 4 times a week, classwork. And then
it's mostly you're trying to focus on your core requirements in the first year. So epidemiology, methods, and biostatistics. Yeah.
And then once you have that, your second year is a little bit more flexible.
Yeah.
In terms of when you have free time, but in terms of things that you have to do, it's equally demanding because you're trying to utilize all those things that you learned and maybe even take other courses that are more advanced in specific methods this is how I have looked at it, specific methods for what I want to use in the future, for what I'm going to use for my thesis. And so classwork is not as demanding or not as time intensive.
Somehow we feel busier, I think, in our second year.
We aren't taking near as many classes, but it does feel as though there's more to do, which we didn't think was possible.
And we're TAing now. Well, if you're considering Hopkins, definitely apply. It's a phenomenal school. And I would also say ask lots of questions. So you have as much information as you can get.
Yeah. I think if I were going to give advice to someone who is entering the graduate school process, I think that you really want to look for a place that fits the type of research that you want to do.
Yes.
Because, that's what you're coming here to learn, is to prepare you to get your training for the future. So look into the types of research that the places that you're interested are conducting, and if that's the type of thing you'd like to do, then definitely apply there. But in terms of Hopkins, I certainly can't speak higher of an institution. I think it's a fantastic place to learn. It's a fantastic place to get trained.